GTN Radio. Hear the difference.
Now the news, I'm Kenwood. The Chinese president says free and open trade and investment are the purposes and principles of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation and also the pillar for the realization of the Future Vision 2040. Xi Jinping made the remarks when he continued to attend the 29th APEC Economic Leaders Meeting in Bangkok last Saturday. He has called for upholding true multilateralism and preserving the multilateral trading system. He has also stressed staying committed to benefits for all, achieving mutual benefit, adhering to opening up and regional cooperation, and jointly promoting prosperity in the Asia-Pacific. Chinese President Xi Jinping is calling on China and the United States to work together to bring bilateral ties back on the track of healthy and steady development. He made the remarks during a brief exchange with U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris on the sidelines of the APEC Economic Leaders Meeting. Xi Jinping says his recent meeting with President Joe Biden in Bali is strategic and constructive and carries important significance in guiding China-U.S. relations going forward, calling on both countries to further increase mutual understanding, reduce misperception and miscalculation. Harris underlined that the U.S. side does not see confrontation or conflict with China, and that the two sides need to work together on global issues and keep lines of communication open. During his time in the Thai capital, Bangkok, President Xi Jinping has also met with leaders from countries including Chile, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, and Brunei, calling for efforts to promote economic cooperation and regional stability. The Chinese leader also met with the King and the Queen of Thailand at the Grand Palace in Bangkok and called for writing a new chapter in bilateral relations. Leaders of the APEC economies have issued a declaration and endorsed an outcome document on biocircular green economy. The declaration was adopted after the two-day APEC economic leaders meeting. It affirmed APEC leaders' long-standing commitment to promoting strong, balanced, secure, sustainable, and inclusive growth. It also stated their commitment to realizing the APEC future vision of an open, dynamic, resilient, and peaceful Asia-Pacific community by 2040. The Bangkok goals cover climate change mitigation, sustainable trade and investment, environmental conservation, and waste management. Also on Saturday, the Thai Prime Minister handed over the APEC chairmanship to the United States for APEC 2023. North Korea's state media has reported that the country test-fired a new intercontinental ballistic missile on Friday. Top leader Kim Jong-un inspected the launch of the Hwasong 417 missile at the Pyongyang International Airport. It clashed the counter-U.S. nuclear threats with nuclear weapons. The launch came a day after Pyongyang warned of fiercer military responses to Washington, beefing up its regional security presence, including nuclear assets. The United States, South Korea, and Japan criticized Pyongyang's recent weapons tests and pledged greater security cooperation at an earlier trilateral summit. Russian and Turkish presidents have discussed the prospects of creating a gas hub in Turkey and extension of the Black Sea grain export deal. Vladimir Putin and Recep Tayyip Erdogan also talked about bilateral trade and economic ties and praised the implementation of joint projects, including those in the nuclear power industry. UN Chief Antonio Guterres and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky have discussed the future of the Black Sea Grain Initiative. During the phone call, the two sides also talked about ways to improve the deal's impact on the least developed countries. The initial duration of the agreement, brokered by Turkey and the United Nations, is 120 days and expires on November the 19th. Russia and Ukraine have agreed to prolong the deal on the export of grain and fertilizers from Black Sea ports for another 120 days. NASA's unparked Orion spacecraft is now more than halfway to the moon. Artemis 1 lunar mission manager Mike Serafin says the mission is proceeding and exceeding expectations in terms of payloads.
We did successfully deploy all 10 of the 10 CubeSats. We are getting reports from a number of the payload customers that show that half of them are successfully executing the mission. The other half are working through a series of issues with either intermittent communications or just some of the CubeSats themselves are having difficulties.
If all goes well, the crew capsule will be propelled into a wide orbit around the moon before returning to Earth in weeks. And that's the news. I'm Kenwood.